On the early morning of August 8, 1963, one of the most infamous heists in British history took place. A robbery so daring and perfectly orchestrated that it gripped the entire nation. Known as the Great Train Robbery, this audacious plan saw a gang of skilled criminals intercept a Royal Mail train, making off with £2.6 million, a sum worth over £55 million today. The heist was led by Bruce Reynolds, a career criminal with a taste for high-stakes schemes and an even higher taste for success. But he couldn't do it alone. Reynolds assembled a team of specialized criminals, each with their own role in the intricate plan. Together, they pulled off one of the most famous robberies in modern history. Today, we're diving into how they did it and why this heist continues to captivate imaginations around the world. Welcome to Chrono Guardian. If you love stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bruce Reynolds, often credited as the mastermind behind the Great Train Robbery, spent months planning every detail of the heist. But he didn't do it alone. Reynolds assembled a core team of skilled criminals, each bringing expertise crucial to the operation. And together they crafted an audacious plan to intercept a Royal Mail train loaded with cash. Among the key figures was Gordon Goody, who had a wealth of criminal experience and connections. Goody helped Reynolds identify the right target and refine the plan, acting as a co-leader in organizing the operation. Buster Edwards was another central player. Known for his streetwise savvy, Edwards handled logistical details, from securing equipment to ensuring the crew had what they needed on the ground. These three, Reynolds, Goody, and Edwards, became the core architects of the heist. They were joined by Charlie Wilson, who managed finances and kept the gang organized. Roy James, a skilled driver and racing enthusiast whose expertise would be invaluable for their escape. Roger Corddry, an experienced engineer, designed and installed the fake red signal, a critical element that allowed the gang to stop the train precisely at the chosen spot. Another important figure was Ronnie Biggs, who, though less experienced in planning, played a key role in providing additional support to the crew and was essential for his connections. Altogether, the core team consisted of around 15 members, each assigned specific roles, from preparing hideouts to moving cash. Reynolds, Goody, and Edwards were the main decision-makers, but every member played a part. They scouted routes, rehearsed the setup, and perfected their plan to minimize risks. With everything in place, the gang was ready for one of Britain's most daring heists. Their target was the Royal Mail train, a high-speed service carrying money from Scotland to London. The gang's plan hinged on finding a secluded spot where they could stop the train without drawing attention. After weeks of scouting, they decided on a remote bridge in Buckinghamshire. Their approach was bold and technical. Corddry's fake red signal halted the train, while other gang members rehearsed the heist down to how they would control the train's crew and move the cash bags efficiently. They practiced each detail, leaving as little as possible to chance. On the early morning of August 8, 1963, the gang put their plan into action. The Royal Mail train was approaching the bridge at Brightigo Railway Bridge when the crew spotted the red signal set by the gang. The driver, Jack Mills, brought the train to a stop, thinking there was a routine emergency. But before Mills could investigate, he and his second man, David Whitby, were overpowered by members of the gang. Jack Mills sustained a head injury while trying to protect the train, but the robbers were quick to take control. They detached the two carriages containing the cash and drove the train to a planned location under the bridge, where getaway vehicles awaited them. The gang began unloading 120 bags, each filled with cash and totaling 2.6 million pounds. But the bags proved heavier than expected, slowing down the operation. In just over 30 minutes, they managed to transfer the cash into their vehicles and make their escape, leaving the stunned train crew behind. As they left, the gang tried to cover their tracks. But even with their planning, they would make mistakes that would lead investigators back to them. The heist shocked the nation, and the police response was immediate and thorough. Scotland Yard formed a special team to track down the robbers, focusing on known associates of Bruce Reynolds and others with expertise in similar heists. The gang had retreated to a hideout at Leatherslade Farm, where they planned to lay low until the heat died down. However, after just a few days, they were forced to abandon the farm due to the mounting police pressure. Their biggest mistake was leaving behind incriminating evidence. Investigators found fingerprints on utensils, items used by the gang, and even documents that connected some members to the crime. As the evidence piled up, one by one, the robbers were arrested. Bruce Reynolds evaded capture for 5 years, but was eventually found in 1968. Most members received lengthy sentences, with some like Charlie Wilson and Buster Edwards making daring prison escapes, adding to the heist's legendary status. Despite their capture, only a small portion of the money was ever recovered. Authorities believe most of the cash was quickly spent or hidden. To this day, a significant portion of the heist's fortune remains unaccounted for, fueling curiosity about what happened to the missing millions. The Great Train Robbery quickly entered the chronicles of British history as a legendary heist. The public was fascinated by the audacity of the robbers and the sheer scope of the heist. Ronnie Biggs, one of the gang members, became infamous for his escape to Brazil, where he lived for decades, avoiding extradition back to the UK. He lived openly in Rio de Janeiro, became somewhat of a folk hero, and even mocked British authorities in the press, adding to the heist's mystique. Meanwhile, Buster Edwards reportedly opened a flower stall after serving his sentence, while Bruce Reynolds continued to reflect on his criminal career, publishing memoirs detailing his life as a heist mastermind. Though some gang members lived quietly after their release, others became semi-celebrities, giving interviews and recounting the heist in books and documentaries. The heist also had a lasting impact on British culture, inspiring countless movies, TV shows, and books. The planning, the risk, and the aftermath make it a symbol of both ingenuity and crime in Britain's history. To this day, the Great Train Robbery is remembered as a tale of fortune, failure, and enduring mystery. The Great Train Robbery of 1963 remains one of the most fascinating heists in modern history, showcasing both the thrill and cost of a life of crime. Despite the gang's detailed planning, the heist would ultimately lead to harsh consequences and a lifetime of notoriety. And, as we've seen, even when the money disappears, the story lives on. Thank you for watching Chrono Guardian. If you found this tale as captivating as we did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more intriguing stories from history.